going on YouTube? Welcome back to Show and Tech. So if you didn't know, I'm a huge fan of Soundcore and their entire audio line, but this new set of earbuds that they released have been something that I've been waiting for a long time. So Soundcore released the Liberty Air 2 Pros, and these guys here feature that ANC as well as the ambient sound mode that not only myself, but a lot of people have been looking for. Now, I haven't had these long enough to give you guys a full review on these truly wireless buds just yet, but I definitely had them long enough to give you my first impression. So I've had a chance to listen to my favorite album from start to finish, which is Astroworld by Travis Scott. And I've also had a chance to watch 2 episodes of The Queen's Gambit while using this headset. Now, in terms of the sound, it's what you'd expect from Soundcore. These sound fantastic, especially if you're somebody like me and you leverage that Hear ID functionality that you find in the Soundcore app. So the Liberty Air 2 Pros are packed with a ton of features for their price point. They come in 4 colors, which again was something that I discussed last year as what I would like to see in the future. So rather than having just the black and white, this year they come in a black, white, blue, and a pink variant for those of you who like to go outside the box. On the inside of each earbud, you've got 11mm drivers with their trademarked Pure Note technology, which they say they've coated the drivers with 10 hardened nano layers that generate stunning accuracy and clarity. Now, comparing these to the overall sound profile of the Liberty Air 2s, I don't personally notice much difference. I just know that these sound very good. Like the regular Air 2s, they feature 7 hours of playtime with 26 total hours if you include the charging case, because I assume that by making the unit much bigger and adding that ANC and the ambient sound capabilities, that would eat away at the battery life much faster. But they've managed to keep it consistent throughout the line. So you've got 7 hours on each of the earbuds. And then in addition to that, I know a lot of people are more interested in using charging pads these days versus the USB-C connectors in order to keep their connections healthy. So these are also capable of wireless charging as well.
One feature that I'm really excited about as well with these is that they have the ability to auto detect when it is that you take the earbuds out of your ear. So by taking either the left or the right earbud out, it automatically pauses whatever it is that you're listening to or watching, and then will recontinue it once you put the earbud back into your ear.
Now, in terms of something that's totally new for Soundcore, this is the first time that Soundcore is bringing active noise cancellation to their truly wireless earbuds. So with that feature paired with the Soundcore app, there's actually a lot of customizability in terms of the types of frequencies that you want to block out when you're using that ANC. So in the app itself, they've got 3 preset ANC modes. So they've got one for transportation. So if you're riding on a bus or an airplane, it's able to cancel out those low frequency sounds. There's one for indoors, so if you're in a coffee shop or whatever it might be, and then also one for outdoor as well. So based on the setting that you choose, it works hard to block out more common frequencies for that type of activity or place that you've chosen. The 4th option is a custom option where you're able to use, I guess, this wheel that they've created in order to sort of change the frequencies that it focuses on. And so you can kind of go around the wheel and figure out what is most applicable to you and the environment that you're currently in. So in terms of the ambient sound mode, that sound pass through, they've also got a couple settings there as well. So you've got full transparency, and you also have a voice setting that is able to focus more so on voices than anything else. So if you're listening to music and you know that you're in a situation where somebody might try to talk to you, so let's say you're at the gym or something like that, and you want to make sure that you hear when somebody calls your name versus having all of the outside surrounding sounds coming in through the headset, then you'd want to choose that voice mode. Now, in terms of the overall design of these guys here, they keep the same silhouette of the Liberty Air 2s. However, they are just a little bit shorter than the regular Liberty Air 2s are. So if you look at the Pros and the 2s side by side, you'll notice that the Pros are just a little bit shorter. However, the stock on them is much wider. Not only that, but at the head of each of the earbuds, you'll also notice that because of that ANC functionality, having to pack a little bit more technology into the earbud, this part is just a little bit more bulbous. Now, what that lends to is being, for me anyways, a little bit more uncomfortable than the Liberty Air 2s were. I found that I had to take a little bit more time to go through and test out all the different sizes of ear tips that come in the box. Now, luckily with the Liberty Air 2 Pros, you actually get 9 different sizes of ear tips in the box. So I don't think that anybody would have any trouble in finding that perfect fit, because when you're using ANC earbuds, it's really important that you establish that perfect seal in your ear canal in order to get the best out of the ANC. And then one thing that I alluded to before is that they have a bunch of different color options this year. Now, unfortunately, I don't have all 4 colors. I've only been able to get my hands on the black and the blue variant. And looking at the 2 of them, I actually really like how the blue looks. It's like a metallic blue with the case, and the way that it catches the light looks pretty awesome. But if you look at them side by side, the black is actually more of a navy blue. You can definitely tell that they've used the same case and the same paint for both, but just put a black layer on top of that metallic blue. So if you go for the black, you kind of get the best of both worlds. However, the black case picks up a lot more fingerprints than the blue one does. Now, going back to talking about the Soundcore app and specifically Hear ID, one thing that you're gonna notice with this new iteration is that the Hear ID functionality is actually a lot better and a lot more intuitive than it was last year when I was looking at the Liberty Air 2. So if you're not sure what Hear ID is, essentially what it does is you put both earbuds in your ears, you find a very quiet spot in your house or wherever you might be, then it's gonna send a series of different frequency tones into one ear at a time, and you're essentially just saying if you can hear the tone or not in your right ear, and then you do the same thing on the left, and it ends up creating a graph and a customized EQ to make sure that the music sounds best for you. So after having used both the ANC and the ambient sound modes, I can definitely say that they've done a pretty good job with it. It's not necessarily on par with the AirPods Pro just yet, but I hope that they're able to continue to release new firmware in order to tweak it just a bit so that it's a lot better. The environments that I tested it in were in my computer room where I have a very loud fan, and with my AirPods Max, it was able to block it out completely. With the AirPods Pros, it was able to block it out, I would say about 85 to 90% of it, but while using the Soundcore Liberty Air 2 Pros, I would say it was blocking out about 75%, and if I tweaked it a little bit and went to the custom ANC setting, it was able to block out a little bit more. Now, in terms of the ambient sound mode, I don't think anyone's ever gonna come close to the ambient sound mode that you find on the AirPods Pro, but these ones are pretty decent. But again, there's definitely room for improvement there. So like I said, this isn't my full review, but I'm expecting that there's gonna be a firmware update in the near future as they release it and start getting feedback from all the people that buy it. So it's only gonna get better from here, and that's definitely something that I'm looking forward to. So down low, if you've got any questions about the Liberty Air 2 Pros, feel free to let me know. Like I said, I've got my hands on the black and the blue version of the Liberty Air 2 Pros, and I'm looking at potentially doing a giveaway of the second one because I definitely don't need 2 pairs to myself. So again, if you've got any questions, leave them down low. I'll do my best to answer them. And I'm gonna be using these guys for the next week or two so that I can get a full review out of the Liberty Air 2 Pros as quickly as possible. So that's pretty much been it from me. Much love as always, throwing up 2 of them, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.